Hello everybody, it's Jessica with Journaling with Jessica here. Today I wanted to make a video of me setting up my ink swatch book. So initially I made a small one out of a passport traveler's notebook size insert, but I really didn't enjoy the way that I set it up. Oh, so sorry if you can hear the dogs barking and some sort of device my neighbor is using right now. Yeah, so initially I set it up like this, but I didn't really enjoy it very much. This would have been sometime in March last year, because initially when I started on this fountain pen journey, I only bought inks that were like pigment inks that I knew would be waterproof and permanent. So I actually started with just this ink, the Color Nostalgia Spring Rain, which is a lovely gray color. And then I went on to the, again, Color Nostalgia, but the Spectralite from their Gemstone collection, which is also a beautiful ink, but I find it tends to have some staining properties, which I'll talk about a little later on. And I also bought the Theatramentus Document Black ink to use in my planner. But as time went on, I came across people like Adventure Denali on YouTube, and I was really interested in trying out some of the inks that other brands have to offer. And thus, I ended up ordering from Goulet Pens these. So these are my ink samples from 2023. I used almost every single one, I think, except maybe about 3 of them. Most of them I bought. 8 of them were a birthday free sample set from Goulet Pens, actually. So I guess I didn't do too bad. So yeah, I also have this little album my mom gave me that I stuck in just some pieces of Rhodia paper that I would swatch on and put them in here. But I really want everything kind of in one notebook, and I want it on the Tomoe River paper because that's the paper I use most often. I know a lot of people use the colorings, but I didn't really think that it was for me. So to swatch today, I'll be using my Kakimori. So those who know the Kakimori, it is, so this is just the handle. It is a dip pen made by a Japanese company. I got the brass one just because, I don't know, I felt at the time the brass would be a little bit more fun. And I also, okay, so this is it. My lighting isn't the best today because I'm using artificial lighting. And then I'm using this glass dip pen from Jet Pens. It comes with a cap. I just took off the cap and put it away. And it comes with a converter. And yeah, there it is. This is the cap. It comes with a converter and another nib, so you could switch it out and use it as a fountain pen as well. Right? So yeah, I kind of don't know exactly how I want to do this just yet. I do know that I will not be trying to swatch in terms of like color coordinating or trying to do it where it's all one brand together. I think more likely I will be swatching in terms of like just when I used whatever color it was. So I have here my Hobonichi weeks where I had swatched every ink and pen that I used throughout the year. So I'm gonna just use this as a reference and just swatch based on the order that I use the inks to just make my life a little bit easier. If I try to make it where I make everything perfect, all the swatches together, all the this together, blah blah blah, I think it wouldn't necessarily work out as well. Plus I follow Karina Loves to Plan, and I looked at her swatch book and she did what I was initially planning to do, which was separate things and make it a little orderly, and I don't think it'll work out because I already plan to buy more inks in the future, and I don't think it will swatch well if I try to like if I get like more diamine inks than I was planning to, or if I get, that sort of thing. So I'm going to just go based on when I use the inks. Otherwise, I could probably go by color family, but again, I don't know how much of each ink I'll get over the course of time. We'll see. Maybe I'll do, as I think about it now, maybe I'll do like a 2-page spread, and I could do like all the greens, all the blues, something. I also have some inks from Urban to swatch because I bought a bunch from Jet Pens. I don't know if this will happen in this video. I think at this point we're probably going to switch to like voiceover because it's really noisy. So we shall see how I go. Oh, I didn't even mention, this is the Gila leather cover that I bought recently, and this is just one of the Hobonichi notebooks, one of these. Hi guys, voiceover Jessica here to talk a little bit more about the inks I'll be swatching. So I had to split this video into several parts because I did not realize how long it would actually take me to swatch out these inks. I was just distracted sitting watching Emily in Paris and enjoying my life, and did not realize it was filming like 2 to 3 hours worth of video. So yeah, I actually decided to go with swatching by color, despite what I said before, because it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. That way I'll get to compare the inks that I have that are close in color. You'll see later on I have a few inks that are actually pretty similar. So I think it'll help me in that way, and also it kind of limits me because I really don't want to pass 50 ink samples, which would be the amount that can be held in that case you could see in the corner there. And I already have like 24, I think, and one of them is an ink flush. So yeah. This first ink that I'm swatching is actually the first ink I ever bought, like the first bottle of ink. It is the Color Nostalgia Spring Rain ink. And I bought that from Jet Pens because at the point in time, it was like my reintroduction, I should say, into fountain pens. I was also purchasing the cement gray Twisby Eco, and the point of it was to use the two inks, the ink and the pen, in my Hobonichi weeks. So I ordered an ink that was, they said, I think it's supposed to be archival quality, but I know that it's waterproof and stuff because it's a pigment ink. So at the time I thought it was the best idea for me. The ink and the pen ended up being a lot more juicy than I thought it would be. So I don't think I got much use of it in my Hobonichi weeks. But I did get quite a lot of use of it in my journals later on. So yeah, that was the first ink. It's a beautiful ink, I must admit. Here I pulled out my other Color Nostalgia ink, but as you can see from the cap, it's not really like a gray black color. It's more like a bluish color. So I decided against putting it in this section, although when you use it, it looks really dark. Not shown as well in this clip will be my Diatramentis Document Black ink. That the main reason for that was just because it would have made such a mess, and I was now starting off doing the swatches, so I didn't want the black ink to kind of cause any issues with the swatches of all the other colors that were to come. So these two samples that I'm showing here are actually free gifts from Goulet Pens. Last year for January, which is my birthday month, they gave me a coupon code to get free ink samples. There were 8 of them, I believe. And these two inks were 2 that they sent in that pack. They also sent me a lot of blues, and I don't really use much blue inks, but I digress. It was free. So this one is Diamine Gray. I did not use this ink during the year. I usually use these water-based inks and dye-based inks in my daily journal, like my morning pages. And I try to stay away from black and gray and those sorts of colors in there, just for fun, because I like to make it look pretty, but also because I feel like just writing in gray first thing in the morning mightn't put me in the best mood for the rest of the day. Maybe eventually, I think I might try one of the Irisuzuku gray inks and probably a Sailor gray ink, because those are kind of more delicate, but this gray was a bit too heavy for me. You'll see on the edge there, I actually have like the little binder, what are those? Folder page savers, I think you call them, something like that. And I saw someone else do this where they put the ink swatch onto these little O's and then stick them onto the caps of their sample vials. And then that way, when you look at your like test tube holder full of sample vials, you can see the colors. Now, it's not going to be exact because you'll see a few of them later on. They look really close, but at least I'll know this is a green ink, this is a blue ink, you know, that'll work for me. The next ink will be Diamine Sparkling Shadows, I believe it's called. Now, this is my first and only shimmer ink. It has silver sparkles in it. It's like a gray, almost black ink with silver sparkles in it. I've never actually used it as well. But this one has the added factor of me being scared of shimmering inks. I mostly use fine and extra fine pens. So my fear is that if I add this shimmery ink with these sparkles into my pen, that it will clog up my feed and that'll be the end of my pen. And they're very precious to me. So maybe eventually I'll try them if I buy a pen with a medium nib. I have a, what is it called? I have a preppy, actually, that my intention was if I'm going to use this sparkling ink, I'll use it in my preppy. But I actually didn't end up inking it up again because I don't really want to use gray in my morning pages. I mean, the completionist in me will probably try to use it still, but it's not my favorite. At this point, I don't think I swatch anymore. As I said, I don't swatch the Detrimentus ink here. You'll have to follow me and keep up with me to see the next couple of videos, which will be me swatching more of my pretty inks, my pinks and purples and greens and orange inks and all that fun stuff. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you guys are watching this. And I guess I'll see you guys really soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.